Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live. It's such a pleasure to be here with you tonight with the amazing band. That's Kent on piano, Rob on synth and keys, Mike on drums, and Susan on bass. Best church band ever, right there. Those are the people, best ones. So we're going to get started tonight with a song called Anyway. You can spend your whole life building something from nothing. One storm can come and blow it all away. Build it anyway. You can chase a dream that seems so out of reach, and you know it might not ever come your way. Dream it anyway. God is great, but sometimes life ain't good. And when I pray, it doesn't always turn out like I think it should. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. This world's gone crazy. It's hard to believe that tomorrow will be better than today. Believe it anyway. You can love someone with all your heart for all the right reasons. In a moment they can choose to walk away. Love them anyway. God is great, but sometimes life ain't good. And when it doesn't always turn out like I think it should, but I do it anyway. I do it anyway. You can pour your soul out singing a song you believe in, that tomorrow they'll forget you ever sang. Sing it anyway. Yes, sing it anyway.
Thank you, Jennifer Burnett and our Mile High Band. Fantastic. Everyone have a good Thanksgiving. What was your favorite thing that you prepared, Jennifer?
Cranberry salad.
Oh, I think I've had your cranberry salad before. It's quite delicious.
And cornbread dressing. And the turkey. And the sweet potato souffle. And the homemade yeast rolls.
Yeah, and she did it all while singing that song, ladies and gentlemen, too, because that's how Jennifer rolls. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live, everyone. It's great to see you here in our Mile High Sanctuary and watching at home. So looking forward to Dr. Michelle's message tonight, which will involve something to do with driving in neutral or putting one's car in neutral. Won't give away the ending, but looking forward to that. So grateful to have a friend from our religious science community. Reverend Gregory Toole is here with us. Incredible presence, has done so much for our movement these last many years, and so good to have you here with us today. There was once a priest who got the chance to have a counseling session with Mother Teresa, the great Catholic saint, Saint Teresa now, and he told her all of his problems. He was preparing for a long time and was expecting a lot of advice from her, and she told him when he was complete to, if you can just give 1 hour to the Lord every day and do your best not to do anything wrong, everything will be all right. And I like that. I think our religious science way of translating that would be, if you could just give an hour a day to what's most sacred to you. Maybe it's not a whole hour in one chunk. Maybe it's through different times in the day. Maybe it's just taking this hour here with us on a Wednesday night, and just do your best. Things have a way of turning out, working out, and creating blessings for us and all around us. So thank you for taking your time for the sacred today. And I love this sacred time of being in spiritual community with each of you. And so as we move into this service, let us take a deep breath to honor what is most sacred within us and all around us, and open up to the many blessings here tonight as we open ourselves up to more of that beautiful sacrament of song.
I loved what you said, Josh, about, finding an hour a day. And sometimes it's hard. And sometimes it's just finding a minute or 3 minutes or 10 seconds. But if you can start somewhere, that's good. And then you can work your way up to a day. So I want you to listen to this song from that space where you find the sacred, from that space where you can let go of all the negative thoughts that you have about yourself and about the person sitting next to you and about the other people in the room. Just in this moment, for the next, I would say, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. It's a place to start. Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain, feel so ashamed. I am beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh no. So don't you bring me down today. Your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone, left the puzzle undone. Ain't that the way it is? You are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. Oh no. 'Cause you are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring you down. Oh no. So So don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, with a song inside the tune, full of beautiful mistakes. And everywhere we go, the sun will always shine, and tomorrow we might awake on the other side. 'Cause we are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring us down, oh no. We are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring us down, oh no. So don't you bring me down today. Don't you bring me down today. Ooh. Don't you bring me down today.
Well, I would agree that you are beautiful, Jennifer Burnett. Thank you. And so is everyone else here.
So are you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jennifer and the wonderful band. Great job. Great job. So exciting to hear them play and express their beautiful art. And as Josh said, I am going to talk today a little bit about attachment. It's about letting go of attachment, and I call it living in the neutral zone. And this talk sort of emerged out of a very embarrassing experience that I had a while back. I have a modern car where the gear shift for the car to put it into drive is actually on a little stick that looks like the thing you use to turn on a turn signal, but it's on the right side. And so you push all the way down to drive, and you put it all the way up to go into reverse, and you push in the stem to park. And it's really hard to get that car into neutral. And I experienced that most profoundly one day when I decided to go on my own to get my car washed. And I knew that it was hard to put the car into neutral. So I went into the Safeway parking lot there and sat and practiced. And it appeared as though the most brilliant way was to put the car into park, and then you have to pull the stem down just a little bit and be very patient, and then it'll pop into neutral. And there you go. So I practiced it about 10 or 15 times. And then I drove over to the car wash, and I got in line, and I got up to the point where it was my turn, and I got my little tires right in the right spot, and I went to go put it into neutral, and it wouldn't go into neutral. I tried and tried, and the little things are going underneath me, and they stop the whole car wash for me, and I'm trying really hard to get it into neutral, and I'm saying, wait, and I roll down the window, and the guy's coming over, and he's trying to help me. Well, did you try this, and did you try that, and have you thought about that? And I said, I practiced, I know, and I kept trying, and it was like the harder I tried, the less I could do the subtle movement that you need to do. And finally they said, ma'am, you're going to have to just back out of the car wash. And they made all the cars back up. I know, it was so embarrassing. And they made me back out of the car wash. And I drove away, and I was so embarrassed. I couldn't get my car to neutral. And I went home, and I told my husband, I'm going to get my car. And I think he took it to be washed for me, because he can always do it, of course. And so then I thought, I've got to master this. I can't let this win. I've got to be able to do this. And so every day I drove the car, I would practice putting it into neutral. And finally one day I thought, okay, I'm going back to the car wash. And so I got my big pants on, my big girl pants on, and I drove to the car wash, and I got back in line, and I got up and got my wheels in the right place, and I start going forward, and it took me a little longer than it did in the parking lot, but I got it into neutral. Yeah, it was really wonderful. But then the attendant comes running up and he's screaming at me. And so he's talking to me and I can't hear him. So I roll my window down and I can't hear him, and I'm going towards the bubbles. And my window is down. And he's yelling at me. And I'm going towards the bubbles. And the bubbles are now coming into the car all over me. And I put on the brake and I say, "What do you want?" And he says, "I need you to put it in reverse." And I'm like, "No." And so he says, "Your tire's not right. You need to put it in reverse." So I put it in reverse and I back up a little bit and I put the brake on and I said, "Now can you stop the whole car wash?" And he says, "Yes, ma'am, I can stop the car wash." "And can you get me a paper towel?" And he says, "Yes, because I've been washed. It's not just a car wash now, it's a Michelle wash too." So he runs and gets me the paper towels and I wipe myself off and I say, "Now give me a second." And he says, "Okay." I take a deep breath. And I put the car in neutral. And I say, "Okay, go." And I roll the window up and I go into the car wash and I was successfully able to get my car washed. Yes. It was a big triumphant moment in my life. And when I told my friend and colleague, Reverend Sonia Byrne, this story, we laughed and laughed and laughed at the silliness. And she said, "You know, sometimes it's really hard to get yourself into neutral, isn't it?" And I went, "Yep, that's it. That is it. It's time to write a talk about the neutral zone, getting ourselves into neutral." Because I wasn't in neutral, and it felt to me like the harder I tried, the worse it got. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I know I have, not only in the car wash, but I have in my life as I am attempting to create some new experience or attempting to use the power of positive thinking or use affirmations or use prayer treatment to create a new experience. Sometimes it feels as though the exact opposite thing happens. It's very much like the song Jennifer was singing about anyway. It can be elusive. It can seem as though the thing that I want most is elusive to me and is not happening. And I have discovered that a huge part about this creative process of not only creating the life that we want to live with regards to certain circumstances and conditions, but life in general can be challenging at times and can be more challenging the more attached we are. The more attached we are to outcomes, the more attached we are to conditions, the more attached we are to people, the more attached we are to things, it can be difficult, and I've wondered, why is this so? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, talks a lot about it's not the thought that we're thinking that is the impetus for the creative process that's happening. It's the repetitive direction that our energy goes, which includes our thought, but it also can include, and I think is even more powerful, that is the creative energy underneath our attitudes and intentions that have to do with how we're really feeling. So in other words, I can be affirming, "I am a person of great love and power," but underneath I'm going, "And I want to know it right now." You know, that dissonance between I'm being all calm and cool and collected, and that attachment underneath. And it happens to us often when we get desperate, when life is really scary for us. I talked a little bit about this on Sunday, when we get a bad diagnosis, or we want love, we want to find love or friendship, or we want a job desperately, or when we're the most vulnerable, we can get the most attached. And I know that it can seem counterintuitive to say, when things get really bad, how can I not be attached? Because when things or conditions or relationships are challenging, It's only human nature to become attached. I understand that. I've felt that. I've been there. I've done that. And yet, what I've also discovered is that my passionate attachment to things doesn't really help. Just because I'm attached to getting well, it stresses out my whole neurological system. It causes me to, I think, from a chemical standpoint, launch a whole bunch of chemistry into my body the more attached I am. That doesn't really serve me in being relaxed and calm. It creates more stress. And I often call it spiritual bad breath. It appears to literally push away what it is that I think I want. Just think about this for a minute. I suspect other people have had this experience where someone came after you, not in a kind of a come after you kind of feeling, but someone wanted you to come work for them, or someone had a major crush on you, or someone wanted you to do something desperately that you really didn't want to do, or you didn't want to be with that person, or you didn't want to work in that job. Isn't it uncomfortable when people who are attached to us like that cling to us, come after us? It's not comfortable at all. It causes us to want to turn away from them. And I think what we have to remember is when we are living our life out, our attachment, that attachment energy constantly being deposited, if you will, into the creative medium of life on our behalf, where there's a part of us saying, I have to have it the way I want it. I have to be with that person. I have to be married by the time I'm 25, or whatever that energy is. It is pushing away sometimes exactly that which we want energetically from us, in a place of consciousness from us, because attachment roots itself in fear. Attachment roots itself in lack. Attachment roots itself in the real truth that's happening below the surface, which is, I want it, but I really am not sure I can have it. So I think the more attached I get, the more I can prove to myself that maybe I could have it. And so attachment doesn't work for us. And of course, in the great Buddhist teachings, Buddha tells us that attachment leads to suffering. And I think this is a huge part of what he meant when he was talking about how attachment leads to suffering. How we can't actually create the life we want to live if we're too attached to it. We can certainly be passionate and excited and open and willing to do whatever it might take, or become whatever it might take to create the life we want to live. But there's this place that I call the neutral zone that I think is a more powerful place for us to live. Ram Dass tells us a feeling of aversion or attachment towards something is your clue that there is work to be done. So I'm inviting us to recognize, just like I felt so attached in that car wash to getting my car into neutral, the more attached I was, the more I couldn't do it. It was only when I surrendered and took a deep breath and just said, I know I can do this. There's something in me that knows how to put this car into neutral. I could do it. I will have to say that since my experience, they have created a button you can push called car wash mode that puts your car into neutral for you. Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm grateful for that. I must have created that, right? And so if we look at the neutral zone, so we can look at the challenge of attachment. And then what can happen is if we start to wake up to this and say, okay, well, I'm not going to cling. I'm not going to be attached. I'm going to be more open. What can happen to us then is that we can fall into the polar opposite of that, which can be detachment. And thinking that non-attachment, healthy non-attachment, is detachment. I just won't care. I won't be committed to anything. I won't be passionate about anything or excited about anything. I'll try to just be like a robot, living my life out and just trusting. This is where sometimes we find in our spiritual life this part of us that when we first hear about these teachings wants to apply them to everything and wants to create everything we can. And then there's conflict with how do I apply myself and put myself forward while at the same time allowing the grace that God is to pour through me and trusting that which comes about. Where is the middle ground between I want when I want it, and let God want what it wants through me? How do I find that middle ground? And detachment does get a bad rap too, because in saying that I'm not attached or I can be detached, sometimes we think that means, or people think about us that means that we're uncaring. That to be detached from the state of the world means, I don't care what goes on over there. I don't care if those people are suffering. I don't care. All I care about is what's going on right here in my life. I don't need to be attached to anything out there. So we think that detachment looks like that. Whereas we lose sight then in detachment sometimes of how we can have compassion. It gets a bad rap because we lose our ability to be compassionate beings. We get a bad rap because people think that in our spiritual detachment, we're non-compassionate. And I can understand how they might feel that way about us, or assume that about us, or how we might be tempted to behave that way in our own lives. Being detached can also appear to be somewhat passive, meaning that I just don't care. I'm just so easygoing. I just let things just flow. Let it flow, man. Whatever happens is fine. It's good. It's all good, man. It's all perfect. That kind of cool vibe. Like I'm just detached. I just go with the flow. I just let be what be. Just let live. What has it go? Live and let live. Live and let live, I wrote down. Just let everybody do what they want to do. I'm unattached. And so I remember so clearly the great teacher, Edwene Gaines, coming here and speaking here at Mile High so many times. And one of the funniest things I've ever heard her say is you never, she has that southern accent, you never call up Sears and Roebuck and just say, send me anything. There comes a moment when you commit and you're willing to commit to living a life in going in a direction that one wants to go, but at the same time trusting how you're getting there and the journey and the process, and even trusting the obstacles, and even trusting the moments where it appears as though it's not going the direction we want to go. The neutral zone has elements of being what I learned on course here at Mile High Church, high commitment, low attachment. I'm highly committed to moving in the direction of the things that I'm passionate about. I'm highly committed to contributing to the causes and to the directions that I feel passionate about. But I'm unattached as to how they come about. I'm unattached even at times as to when they come about. I am in the process, fully engaged, fully connected, which puts me in this beautiful zone of power. There's a center called the Center of Excellence that says that the laws of a detachment are interesting and can serve us because they look like this. We can allow others to be who they are. We can allow ourselves to be who we are. And that we learn in this zone not to force situations, to trust that solutions are emerging, and to be in co-creative energy with those solutions. And I like this one. We talked about this a while back in October here at Wednesday Night Live. Uncertainty is reality. Embrace it. Uncertainty is reality. Embrace it. So this zone that I'm talking about that is somewhat neutral allows us to bring forth what is unhealthy attachment but is commitment and passion. See, I think that it's important for us to be willing to be committed to the things that are important to us. Greater peace on this planet, to health and well-being for ourselves and others, being passionate about sharing our gifts with the world. These are just some of the things that we might be passionate about. And it's okay. It's powerful as spiritual beings for us to embrace and share and express those passions full out and to let them be expressed through us. And it's okay to practice healthy detachment in this zone, in that we don't project all over each other and expect that the things that are passionate for me should be the things that are passionate for you. So while I may be passionate about ending hunger on the planet, someone else might be passionate about LGBTQ rights. And that we can both. There's so much to do on this planet that not everybody has to be passionate about what I'm passionate about, right? There's so much to be done to forward love and peace and equality on this planet that I can have my passion. And one of the ways we know we're starting to fall into attachment with our passions is that we do start to expect, well, this is important to me, so it better gosh well be important to you, Dan. This is important to me, so if it's not important to you, you are a flawed human being. Something is wrong with you, right? These are the words of attachment versus this is my passion and what I'm really interested in. Hey, what are you passionate about? Tell me what's important to you. There's plenty for all of us to be passionate about. Attachment means that I don't need to force. See, that's the thing that they talk about, forcing conditions and situations onto other people. I don't need to force. I can allow other people to live their life out. And when I get into a negative situation or a fearful situation, I can be passionate about healing and wholeness. For example, if I have a diagnosis that's scary, I can be passionate about healing and wholeness and yet trust the journey and be detached to how it's going to show up. When we get afraid, we have an unhealthy diagnosis or financial fear or something happens to someone we love, or we are afraid of losing our jobs, or we do lose a job or a situation or a condition, our fear causes us sometimes to shrink. But what we can start to practice is how could I live in this zone where I could be in healthy passion about my intentionality and at the same time be listening for who is in alignment with that passion that I have and who's not, without making people wrong. So if I'm passionate about living my health out in a certain way and other people, doctors or my healthcare providers, are not in alignment with them, I don't need to make them wrong. I just need to say from that place of the neutral zone, this must not be my doctor. I'll go find one who is. This must not be my care provider. This must not be my path. That I can start to trust. And what I've learned for myself in life, and I suspect we all have, is that in a situation that I tend to land in, there are a limitless number of directions I can go with regards to that situation. And that can be overwhelming, can't it? Because we want to know what's the right one. That's where we get attached. I want to go in one direction and I want to go the right one. What's the right one? And the bigger question really is, what's the right one for me? What's the best one for me? And in order to really hear the guidance when we get scared or when we have situations where attachment starts to rise, in order to really hear our direction, we have got to let that attachment fall away so we can be in the pure center of our being, and then we can hear, see, sense, and know through the wisdom that lives within us what our direction is. Yeah, people I've known before, they went that way. And I know I'm supposed to go this way. because I'm listening. When I'm attached, when I'm in my attachment and fear and I can't hear. I'm not hearing clearly. I'm not hearing powerfully. I'm not hearing the truth that is my greatest truth. And so we're going to practice this right now as we close this out. And this is a big subject, a big topic. As I've worked on this over the last few months, because I have, I could have spent about 4 hours talking about this, really. So to shrink it all into 20 minutes was one of the greatest challenges of my life. And so I invite, if this is a topic that's important, I invite us to consider reading about it, to praying about it, to thinking about it. And right now, as we close this out, to really consider if there's an area in our life where we can feel that energy of, I just want to know the answer. I just want to know what I'm supposed to do. Or I really want so-and-so to do it my way. Or I really want to fall in love. Or I really want to have a baby. Or I really want to... Just take a deep breath. And let's get present to that as we close this time out together. I brought just a little process. And Kent is going to play a little piano for us. So just join me in paying attention to that rising energy. You can close your eyes if you want. You don't have to. Just pay attention to that rising energy. We know that feeling. It's a deep, deep feeling from inside of us that we've had since we came onto this planet. It would happen to us when we were children and we really wanted something badly, or we wanted to communicate something that we couldn't get across, or we wanted to go in a certain direction, or as we've grown older, that feeling that we all have that rises up within us that says, and just feel it. I want people to do things my way, or I want people to go this direction, or I want this condition to happen this way. Just feel it. And as we feel it, I invite us to just breathe through it. Just take a deep breath into it. A deep breath into it. And just attempt to breathe that attachment energy out. Just to be in that perfect space of observing it and noticing it and acknowledging it. We might even say to ourselves, yep, there's my attachment. Yep, I see it. I see it. And I breathe it and breathe it out. And I continue to breathe and invite myself to consider observing the situation with some neutrality. And for me, that sometimes means that I rise up above it and look down at it. I imagine myself looking down at my life and the situation, or I step out of it and kind of look over at it in my mind's eye. And if I'm not able to do that, I ask myself, what would it feel like if I was just neutral about this? If I was just in the neutral zone? If I could just be in that place of observation and noticing. And allow curiosity to rise up. If curiosity rises up, that might cause us to ask ourselves questions like, what would it take for me to walk forward in this situation or with this situation in a place of peace and passion while also getting my needs met, or creating what it is I want, or having the life or the condition or situation that I want? Can I trust that something in me is cooperating with me right now, allowing me to express and move forward in the direction that I want to move forward? Can I be open right now? And if as we're doing this process right now, the answer is no, I can't be open right now, it's okay. The invitation that I'm offering us today is to walk out of this place or to be in our home wherever we are and just spend time this week fostering a greater sense of connection in that neutral zone of being able to be passionate about what we feel and think while at the same time being open. Passionate, yet open. all at the same time. That is, to me, living in the neutral zone. Have fun with it. I do pretty much every day. I'm going to go get a car wash now. I'll see you later. And now, more music from our wonderful band and Jennifer Burnett.
It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near, and I can feel a change in the winds right now. Nothing's in my way, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna hold me down. 'Cause I've got faith of the heart. I'm going where my heart can take me. I got faith to believe I can do anything. I've got strength of the soul, and no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star, 'cause I've got faith. I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart. It's been a long night trying to find my way. Been through the darkness. Now I finally have my day, and I will see my dreams come alive at last. I will touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind, 'cause I've got faith of the heart. I'm going where my heart will take me. I've got faith to believe I can do anything. I've got strength of the soul, and no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star, 'cause I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart. I've known a wind so cold, seen the darkest days, but now the winds I feel are only winds of change. I've been through the fire, I've been through the rain, but I'll be fine. Oh, 'cause I've got faith of the heart. I'm going where my heart will take me. I've got faith to believe I can do anything. I've got strength of the soul, and no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I've got faith, faith of the heart. I'm going where my heart will take me. I've got faith to believe that no one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star, 'cause I've got faith. I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart. It's been a long road.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Beautiful. Well, it's interesting. Happy Hanukkah, by the way. Our Hanukkah candles have already burned out and for the night. It's interesting. I was just thinking about how this is my final talk for 2021. Josh gets to carry the rest of the talks for the rest of the year, but I just want to say thank you so much for a beautiful year of allowing me as a minister to be in service in this wonderful way. And I'm so appreciative of all the love and support and your presence here at Mile High Church and in my life. And so thank you so much. And we want to invite you to consider at this moment being in that place of detachment around financial abundance, and consider giving and sharing with Mile High Church some of your financial abundance. And you can do so by texting to give. The directions are up on the screens, or if you're watching online, you'll see them. You can go to our website and make a contribution. You can send in a contribution by mail, however it is you choose to do it. We invite you to circulate some good right now. And so I invite everybody to just take a moment to give into this moment of life and say an affirmation. So please say after me, this gift I give is God in action. I give it in love and joy, affirming my abundance with great gratitude. And so it is.
So you thought you had to keep this up, all the work that you do, so we think that you're good, and you can't believe it's not enough. All the walls you build up are just glass on the outside, so let them fall down. There's freedom waiting in the sound. When you let your walls fall to the ground, we're here now. This is where the healing begins. Oh, this is where the healing starts. When you come to where you're broken within, the light meets the dark. The light meets the dark. Afraid to let your secrets out. Everything that you hide can come crashing through the door now, but too scared to face all your fear. So you hide, but you find that the shame won't disappear. So let it fall down. There's freedom waiting in the sound. When you let your walls fall to the ground, we're here now. We're here now. Oh, this is where the healing begins. Oh, this is where the healing starts. When you come to where you're broken within, the light meets the dark. The light meets the dark. Sparks will fly as grace collides with the dark inside of us. So please don't fight this coming light. Let this love come cover us. This love can cover us. This is where the healing begins. Oh, this is where the healing
Thanks, Jennifer and everyone. That was a beautiful song. I really like that one. Thank you, Michelle, for this message and for all the messages of 2021. I remember you here on January 6th, speaking courageously to us all. And hey, we're going to pray together, all of us, not just some minister talking at you from the stage, okay? So what are some things we want to demonstrate? Anybody? Abundance. Not 15-pound abundance, but like financial abundance. Hey, somebody got it. All right. Anybody else? Courage. Thank you, Christine. Peace. Patience, calm. Clarity. Compassion. Beautiful. So let's take a moment. Just moving into the sacred in and around ourselves, recognizing that prayer in so many ways is about moving from what we see to the consciousness of how we see, being willing to contemplate the facts of life from the highest point of view. We just simply connect in that panoramic vision that we might imagine is how the divine sees all of life. And from this place, as we pray for all the beautiful qualities set forth and the ones that are set forth from your home or from your car or from wherever you might be tuning in online, it's an opportunity to ask ourselves right now, is there anything that I am looking for from the universe that I can give to myself right now? Is there anything that I'm looking for from another person in my life that I can give to myself right now? And whatever that thing is, can I find it right now, even the glimmer of it within me, seek to embody it in this very moment, knowing that as I do, this seed that is planted begins to flower and blossom and demonstrate in incredible ways. Moving again from that place of attachment to deep and profound commitment, to trust and faith of that which is in ourselves. I know it flowers incredible things. I know that the prayerful consciousness that we share as Mile High community tonight cannot return void, but demonstrates for each and every one of us, transparently, translucently, just fully open at the top and centered in our core. We receive all the gifts of life born in us this very moment, primordially and eternally. We embrace, embody, and enlighten, and let it be. And so it is. Amen. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Next week is some folks' favorite service of the year. It is our family Christmas. We have elves. We may have a visitor from the North Pole. You have Michelle and myself, our ministers, and lots of kids and families. So we're really looking forward to that. This Sunday, I begin a 2-part series for Dickens fans called God Bless Us Everyone. Looking forward to that. And those who are in the room or even those at home, our giving tree is still going on. Grab a tag from that tree. Go onto our church website, make a gift to the Santa shop, and let's help hundreds of kids have a great Christmas this year. Thanks for being here, everybody. And so it is.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I only forgot. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I only forgot. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my